I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos, and thanks for joining us. This is News at 10. Our headlines tonight. While Malaysia currently bearing full brunt of Omicron onslaught. Well, Prime Minister expresses condolences over Ryan Oram's family. Well, the number of new COVID-19 cases in the country today exceeded the 10,000 mark, with 10,089 cases reported as of 12 noon, bringing the cumulative number to 2,914,220. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said the last time Malaysia recorded new COVID-19 cases of above 10,000 was on 2nd October last year, with 10,915 cases. Well, the Health Director General, in an update via his official Twitter account, said 99.24% or 10,012 new cases were in Category 1 and 2, while another 77 cases or 0.76% were in Category 3, 4 and 5. Well, it said Selangor recorded the highest number of positive cases at 2,549, followed by Johor 1,582, Sabah 1,285, Kedah 904 and Pahang 624. This is then followed by Pulau Pinang 542, Kuala Lumpur 491, Kelantan 471, Negeri Sembilan 464, Melaka 457, Perak 321, Terengganu 213, Putrajaya 61, Sarawak 58, Perlis 44 and Labuan 23. Now, on the country's infectivity rate, or RT, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said it was at 1.20, with Perlis recording the highest value of 1.49, followed by Sabah 1.41, Putrajaya 1.29, Kedah 1.22, while Pulau Pinang and Sarawak recorded 1.17 as of yesterday. Well, he said with the present R0 or RT of 1.2, Malaysia is expected to reach 22,000 COVID-19 cases by end of March this year. Hence, it is everybody's responsibility to comply with all public health and social measures. Well, the Health Director General added that increasing the vaccination and booster shot coverage could also reduce the transmission, as well as lower the R0 or RT to less than 1. Well, Malaysia is fully hit by the COVID-19 Omicron variant wave now. And Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin, in a tweet today, said the number of daily COVID-19 cases is expected to hit 15,000 in a day soon. Well, he also said there are still 1 million senior citizens in the country who have not received a booster dose, and urged the public to inform their senior family members to get a booster dose immediately. Well, he was responding to a Twitter post by Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, who shared the susceptible, exposed, infectious and recovered, or SEIR, model image of the daily COVID-19 infections and forecasts cases between 31st August and 31st March this year. In another tweet, Khairi called on the public to take their booster shots and stressed the main purpose of the COVID-19 vaccine was to reduce the severity of symptoms. Well, he said with a booster dose, people have better protection against serious symptoms that can lead to hospitalization or ICU admission. Prime Minister Dato' Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has conveyed his condolences to the family of 5-year-old boy Ryan Oram, who died after he was trapped for 5 days in a well in Morocco. Well, he said it was absolutely heartbreaking to learn about Ryan's tragic death, which was confirmed by the Royal Palace of Morocco. The Premier, in his Twitter posting, said the entire Malaysian family extended their sincere and heartfelt condolences to Ryan's family. Ryan was trapped in a well in northern Morocco for 5 days before rescuers were able to reach him late yesterday. Rescuers finally reached him after removing much of the adjacent hillside and delicately tunneling a horizontal passage into the well. The well was only 45 centimeters wide at the top and tapered as it dropped 32 meters into the bottom where Ryan was trapped, making it impossible for rescuers to descend directly. The hilly region around Chefchaouen is bitterly cold in winter, and rescuers attempted to keep the boy alive by lowering food, water and oxygen through a tube. Rescuers worked round the clock, cutting a massive trench through the hillside, then tunneling horizontally towards Ryan with a constant risk of triggering landslides. In the final hours of the rescue effort, workers had to move with extreme caution as they attempted to dig through earth and rocks to where Ryan lay. They were eventually able to access the well and carried his body to a waiting ambulance. On another note, Dato' Ahmad Marzouk said the current standard operating procedures or SOPs for congregational prayers in mosques, surau and madrasa have proven to be effective in curbing the spread of COVID-19. Well, he said this could be seen by the fact that no mosque-related clusters have been reported so far, and therefore the existing SOP would also be used for the special Tarawih prayers during the month of Ramadan. He also said that the government would announce if there is a change in the SOP before Ramadan, and it will be up to the views of the respective state religious councils to use the SOP effectively. The media previously reported that the Malaysian Islamic Development Department, or JAKIM, did not intend to introduce specific SOP for Tarawih prayers during Ramadan this year and would instead maintain the existing ones in use. While he also said that the government have also learned from several incidents that occurred last Ramadan when there were clusters of Tarawih groups that did not comply with the SOP. Therefore, the government and the authorities will intensify monitoring so that congregants will comply with the SOP set. Well, the government will pay a maximum 60% of the losses incurred by pilgrims affected by the month-long temporary postponement of Umrah travel imposed since 8th January. And Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dato' Ahmad Marzouk Shari, said the Pilgrims Fund Board, or TH, and the Tourism Arts and Culture Ministry, or MOTAC, had checked the list of those affected by the postponement of the Umrah travel.
Ini masih lagi dalam penelitian akhir, barangkali pertengahan bulan ini mengikut apa yang disebutkan akan memurnikan senarai jemaah yang benar-benar menanggung kerugian. Tabung haji lagi senang, terus akan dimasukkan ke akaun mereka.
Dato' Ahmad Marzouk, who is Pengkalan Chepang Member of Parliament, said the payment would be disbursed directly to the pilgrims concerned. Well, he said the affected pilgrims will be required to go to the nearest TH branch office by bringing the relevant documents such as identity card, visa, and also detail of their Umrah package. Well, for those leaving for the Umrah pilgrimage this Tuesday, he advised them to comply with the stipulated standard operating procedures, including the wearing of face mask. Coming up next, MEF says new minimum wage implementation could derail economic recovery. Well, the Malaysian Employers Federation, MEF, reiterated that now is not the right time to increase the cost of doing business, and the proposed 1,500 ringgit new minimum wage implementation would derail economic recovery. The president, Dato' Dr. Syed Husman, said the majority of Malaysian businesses are not ready and not in a position to implement the proposed new minimum wage, as they are still reeling from the economic shock brought about by COVID-19 and the devastating impact of the recent major floods. Elaborating further through a statement released today, Dato' Dr. Syed Hussein said more efforts should be directed towards business recovery in the private sector and controlling the rising costs of products and services. He also reminded that most Malaysian businesses are micro, small and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, whereby 98.9% are in the group. Well, he said the MSMEs were already suffering, and even a small increase in business cost would aggravate their plight, and they might close down, even more so with an increase of more than 300 to 400 ringgit per month on top of the existing national minimum wage. The MEF president added that the minimum wage would mostly go to foreign labor, as the locals are already paid higher wages than this, and the outflow of money will further increase. He said an employee whose current wages are well above the minimum wage could be demotivated with no salary adjustment. University Kuala Lumpur, UniKL, is ready to play its role in strengthening the technical and vocational education and training, which is also known as TVET, by sharing resources, expertise and equipment. And Rural Development Minister Dato Terima said 3 branches of UniKL, a TVET institution under the purview of the Ministry of Rural Development or KPLB, will be involved under the TVET Collaboration Hub initiative. Well, they are a UniKL Malaysia Institute of Aviation Technology under the Satellite Communications and Avionics System Integration Cluster, while UniKL Malaysia France Institute and UniKL Asia Rail Center under the Robotics and Industrial Automation Cluster. On 3rd February, the National TVET Council or MTVET meeting chaired by Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob agreed to the implementation of a TVET collaboration hub involving 11 ministries and coordinated by the Ministry of Higher Education. The meeting also agreed to the establishment of the Government Industry TVET Coordination Body known as GITC in the government's efforts to strengthen the TVET ecosystem, making it the top choice among youths. He added that his ministry has 279 TVET educational institutions nationwide that have strengths and match the needs of the industry. He said KPLB's TVET collaboration with the industry was established through the signing of 227 memoranda of understanding with active status. The collaboration includes the supply of the latest technology, expertise and professional training, program development, instructors and trainees, technology and knowledge transfer, upskilling and reskilling. Well, the Johor Fire and Rescue Department, JBPM, is prepared to deal with the possibilities of open burning incidents following the hot weather, especially at the hotspots in Muar and Pontian. Its director, Dato Yahya Madis, said since 10th January, the department had received 764 calls related to open burning from the public. Dato Yahya said open burning was common in the 2 districts and the fires were usually at the same locations. Well, he said the fires would recur at agricultural sites at Payakopi in Pago, Parit Raja and Suremananti, which are peatland areas, as well as in Pontian at the pineapple farms. Meanwhile, Dato Yahya urged landfill owners to constantly monitor the area and not allow any individual, including scrap collectors, into the premises to prevent open burning, which could take some time to extinguish. He said based on the current weather and wind conditions, it is not to be possible for a spontaneous combustion to occur and someone must have ignited the fire. The Malaysian Meteorological Department, or Met Malaysia, recently informed that the country is currently in the final phase of northeast monsoon season and the rise in temperature is expected to continue until next March. A Road Transport Department JPJ enforcement personnel was killed in a road crash while pursuing a suspected motorist at kilometer 13 of the Middle Ring Road 2 or MRR2 heading towards the Gombak Toll Plaza today. Well, Muhammad Azizi Azizan, 30, who was an assistant enforcer of the Kuala Lumpur JPJ branch, was said to be on a motorcycle patrol duty with several other enforcers when the incident occurred at about 10 a.m. The victim was said to be pursuing a suspected errant motorcyclist when he lost control of his machine and fell and was hit by a car. Medical officers who arrived at the scene pronounced him dead. Kuala Lumpur JPJ Director Muhammad Zaki Ismail, meanwhile, when met at the scene, confirmed the matter and added that Muhammad Azizi's body was sent to the Selayang Hospital for an autopsy. Still to come in sports, clock ticking as decisions must be made ahead of under 23 AFF Championship. Well, it's time for some sports, and ahead of the under 23 AFF Championship 2022 that will take place in Cambodia. The decision on whether United States-based player Wan Ahmad Kurzi, Wan Ahmad Kamal will be joining the national squad is to be finalized tomorrow. Well, National Under-23 squad head coach Brad Maloney said the decision must be made with haste as time is running out.
We're running out of time, to be honest. So I haven't heard anything just yet in the last, say, 24 hours or so, but I've been trying to keep in constant contact with him, and as I say, time is we're really cutting it fine now, so we'll have to make a decision probably by Monday. the door is always open for other players to join that are eligible. So within this next 6 or 7 days, we'll make our final decision before departing to Cambodia.
In their friendly match last night, they managed to hold Sabah FC to a 1-1 tie at Stadium Likas. The young squad will next meet Kuala Lumpur FC for another friendly match on Thursday before departing for Cambodia. The Under-23 AFF Championship 2022 will be held from 14 to 26 February. Well, Perak FC are counting on the experience of several senior players to help put the club in the best position in the Premier League this season. Its head coach, Yusri Chetla, said the club has signed on 2 former national players to strengthen the team. Well, they are namely Indra Putra Mahayudin, who is KL City FC's left winger last season, and former Selangor FC midfielder Wan Zak Haikal Wan Noor. And furthermore, the Bosgara's squad is also bolstered by the presence of former Malacca United FC midfielder Ahmad Shamim Yahya and former UITM FC goalkeeper Muhammad Zamir Selamat. Yusri explained that the senior players' experience is very valuable in helping and guiding the younger players in the team for this competition. To ensure that the club finished in a good position in the league, they were also identifying several import players to further beef up the team. Well, Yusri said the Bosgaras were not setting a specific target for this season, but instead wants all players to show commitment and put their best in every match. Now, top story, Malaysia currently bearing full brunt of Omicron onslaught. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Until then, I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM. Have a pleasant evening and have a pleasant week ahead.